All right, I'm going to fetch this. So this is what we should have learned. I mean, we've made progress. We've made some progress, especially if you've done something on your own. This is what you should have learned in 1 week time. And looking at it, I discovered that there are not things that we can cover together with this few hours section. We can only inspire ourselves to go and do more with it, right? So week one, we didn't treat last time. We didn't treat control structure, so we take it now. So let me add control structures here. Control structure in JS. Okay. um, I'd like to say that for you to, I am taking this section uh, based on certain assumptions. For example, I am or presumptions. Rather, I am presuming that you know at least one programming language, so that I don't dwell in explaining what if else is, what this that. I don't need to start telling you what comment is, multi-line comment, single line comment. You may not know exactly how the syntax is in JS, but it wouldn't be a problem. You just know the syntax and then you'll be using it. So I don't want to be. So I want to assume that you know one programming language at least, because we are mostly LAX students here, if not all LAX students. Although I know that someone that is not an LAX student may see this video later. I want you to know that I am teaching, presuming that you know one programming language at least, and that you know a bit of HTML and CSS. So that's it. And after today's section, probably from the next section, we'll start associating our JavaScript program with HTML documents and CSS documents as well. Okay, but for now, let's be playing with JavaScript. So yeah, I just created a new directory, section 2. So I'm going to open that directory on VS Code. It's coming up. So let's chat. Let's talk. Now, basically, I've learned that there are. Should I say mainly? I don't want to say only. Yeah, mainly. What's this? Parent directory, workspace, or open file. Would you like to open the repository? Am I not in the repository? What kind of funny VS Code users? Am I not in the repository already? Click yes. Okay, so what happened? I don't know what just happened now. VS Code should keep playing with me. I will learn. I will learn how to use it. The life of a Linux programmer or Linux developer, whatever. Okay. So I learned that that I so we have number that was not to aspect it correctly. We also have the array, one that looks like Python lists, and then we'll have object. Okay, so standing on my presumption that you know at least one programming language, I can safely assume that you know what Boolean means, the true or false, and how it could be used. Maybe as we make progress, we'll see that we'll see how that is done. Let me talk about so let me begin from functions, right? I'm going to be combining um, control structures and functions in a way. I mean, control structures. We're talking about things like if if else. We've not used this one yet. Even the for loop is a control structure. We're talking about things that, I mean, it is literally control structure. Structures that places check, that places control, that checks for certain conditions and make certain instructions execute or not execute based on certain conditions. Yeah. So that's my own explanation of what control structures are in JavaScript. So we have the for in loop and my we have the while loop, we have the do while loop, we have even the break and continue. They are all control structures. Continue. What more? I think there is if you know more, you can help me out. Okay, the switch case. Yeah, switch statement. Switch. Who knows more? There's also wait. No, we have try exception block in Python, but here we have what is it called now? Try catch. Yeah, so we have try catch. We have finally. These guys are used to place controls, to place checks on your programs so they run. Right? The importance of variables, I think they cannot be overemphasized. Yes, I learned about this one today that you call quick if, and it looks like the if else statement used in function like macros in C. You know, in C you can have a macro. Let me not write C programs now. But we all know C now. Who does not know C? Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand if you don't know C. Listen. Okay, because of you. Because of you, let's calm down and continue this way. I was going to have some macro declare in C and then have some function like macro and have the one that does the if else statement. So you won't see if, you won't see else. Yeah, you'll be seeing you rather seeing things like question. You see question mark to it represent the if, and then you will see what's it called now? Colon as the else. So one line, you put the condition here, you put this, and you put what should happen, the instruction that should happen here, and then you put this. So it's like saying, under this condition, if this condition is true, do this, do what is after the question mark. Otherwise, do what is after the colon. That's that about that. Okay. Let's start coding, right? Let's start coding. What is functions? Function is a reasonable block of code. A block of code, I mean a section of a set of instructions is supposed to perform a particular a particular operation or carry out a particular instruction. Right? So the essence of function is so that you don't get to repeat yourselves or repeat yourselves unnecessarily. You know, that's one. And then I think that's majorly it. And then it helps for readability, clarity. I mean, you don't want your code to be jam packed. Your main file will not be. I mean, it is not easy to read. You know that this function is doing this. This function is doing this. Okay, it was called there. You know, it was called there and things like that. And I think the last section we wrote a function, right? Here's my VS Code. Come here. Okay, so let me create a file here. what will I call this function? I said I'll be using control structures inside as we make progress. No, function.js. Okay, so let's begin by we'll talk about operators. Please do want to read about operator precedence. I mean, something we learned in C, something that is obtainable in all programming language, I believe. So do want to learn about it. Operator precedence is about saying when you see several operators together, which one should you attend to first? Which one has in the hierarchy of execution, which one should execute first before the other one? For example, let's use a simple mathematical principle called board mass. You may want to help me. What does board mass mean? What does board mass mean? Because that's the thing with programmer. You need to know the real life meaning of what you're trying to work with.
Bracket for B.
Okay, bracket. Okay, who wants to help her? She said bracket.
Brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction.
Is that lady mathematician?
I'm an
No, she was
engineer.
wrapping it. Ah, is well. So you came to our word to turn software to engines.
Yes.
I've seen that. Okay, multiplication, addition.
Addition and subtraction.
That's better addition where
Yes.
subtraction. Thank you. Okay, so I need to turn this to a comment before I'll have Node shout at me. I thought there's something called. I thought it takes more to than comment. So it works. Why didn't you do it more than comment? And flog you. All right. So we'll have this guy. So now knowing that this guy can perform simple arithmetic for us, let's do console.log rather console.log let's say 5 plus 2. If I decide to put space here just for me to see it clearly, for it to be clear to us, I mean the interpreter will is for us humans, for us programmers that are reading the source code to not feel like everything is jam packed. It's not clear enough. So 5 plus 2 plus 1, this should give us 8, right? Let's confirm that it's working. So I'm going to run this code. Where is that auto save again? I refuse to learn and forget in Jesus' name.
I think you can save already.
What? Come again?
I think your code has saved itself already.
How did you know? How did you know you saved yourself?
If you look at after if it wasn't saved, there would have been something like a cycle after the name of your function, the
Okay,
name
and
of
then
your
red color. All right. Thank you. Let me
once
run it
that
now.
the name
save once.
So the auto save that I created the last time is still activated. Is that what you mean? That what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
yes,
Now we
One
run this
time,
code. It gave us 8. Run this code. It gave us 8, and that's correct, right? Now, just to demonstrate operator precedence, right? If I go minus, somebody should tell me what this will give us now. Minus this plus 3 times 2. What will be the answer? Tell me one biscuit for you. I'm using X instead of asterisk. Sorry, asterisk is um, the right symbol that represents multiplication. Is not X. There's no times in what programming languages I've seen or have used. So what would this be? I'm waiting for the answer. Post it in the income message. Let me see. Post it in the income message. Please fast. I don't want this session to take So long. Who has posted? I'm seeing 12. Somebody said 12. I think I need to make this in a big, larger. Great. No, it's too big. No. Someone says 0. I like that. You'll find out shortly. Come on, there are many of us in this call. Someone says 0 again. Someone said 7. I like the fact that different answers be coming out. So you see that I'm not actually teaching operator precedence. I'm telling you what it is so that you'll be inspired to read on your own and learn. And it's not something you want to memorize. Don't bother yourself. Just learn the field that you can learn as you walk, as you practice with it. You will then you get to understand better. I'm seeing 3 teams here. 2 people have said 12. 2 people have said 0. 2 people have said 7. 2 persons. So let's now 2 people. Is that correct English? 2 persons. Okay. 3 persons have said 0 now. 3 teams. Now let's go. Now, if you're not careful,
2 people is actually correct, sir.
Oh, it's correct.
People is more than 1 person. Yeah.
Okay. 2 people. Okay, these people, 2 people. Okay. Thank you. Now, if you're not careful, you can do 5 plus 2. If you don't understand this principle in maths, someone has changed this answer to 12. 5 plus 2 in maths will give you 7, right? So we now have 7, yeah. 7 minus 1, because you're going on line by line, 7 minus 1 will now be 6. You now have 6 here. Then 6 plus 3 will now be 9. We now have 9 here. Then 9 times 2 will now be 18. You now have the whole answer as 18. Nobody give you the answer. That's interesting. Okay, the next one. But how do we go about this thing? Now, this is where, if you don't understand this principle, you learn it now. Yeah, now it's simple. They're saying that when you see something in brackets, attend to the one in bracket first. When we are performing arithmetics, I see something in bracket. Somebody's asking me, I just see my screen. Somebody asked whether it's 5 plus 2 or 5 over 2. Engineer. Do you need to engineer your eyes? So, okay. When you see anything in bracket, when you're performing arithmetics, attend to the one in bracket first. I mean, the bracket does not include this one. This bracket, the parentheses that belong to console.log, right? So there's nothing in brackets here. And so you say off. Of course, off means multiplication as well, but let's not go into that. Division, right? Division, as in the way they are, I taught them in this hierarchy. So everything that is here now, there's no division here, there's multiplication here. So you have to attend to this one first. So you're going to have 5 plus 2 minus 1 plus, you now work on attend to this guy. So 3 times 2 will give us 6. So you have 6 here. And then after attend to multiplication, next is addition. So you go for the plus. There's a plus here, there's a plus here. Doesn't matter which one you attend to first. That's the plus. So you have to do 6 plus 1, you have to do 5 plus 2, and this will be equal to 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. You bring the minus sign. 1 plus 6 is also 7. So this will be equal to 0. I support the 0 team. Now let's run our programs and see who is correct. So we're running a program. Are you serious?
The thing is that it is 1 that is carrying the minus, not
exactly
1 and 6. Not 1 and 6. When you do, it should be minus 1 plus 6.
Yes, minus 1 plus 6.
Plus 6, that's 5.
Excuse me. Okay, minus 1 plus 6. Yeah. See me now. Kai. Okay, I was wondering now, as the rule of board mass fail. Okay, minus 1 plus 6 will be 5. 7 minus 5. If it is 5, then 7 plus 5 will be 12. That's right. Okay. Pardon me.
Thank you. You should have rearranged it first before actually going it that route. It should be 5 plus 2 plus 6, then minus 1.
Thank you. Whoa, interesting, right? Now, let me do that again and see. 5 plus 2 plus 6, right? No, where's 6 coming from? No. 5 plus 2 plus 3. It can't be plus 3 because it has to be 2 times 2. It has to be plus 6. 3 times 2, that is 6. So plus 6. Minus 1, right? Minus 1. So this would be 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 7 plus 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 minus 1 is 12. Oh, that's what I should have done. Okay, let's make progress. Now that's operator precedence for you. I mean, if I wanted to produce the answer, let's say 18. If I wanted to produce 18, then I can control it by putting bracket. Knowing that bracket is the guy at the top, bracket must be respected. So I will say, put bracket here. I say, go and add 2 first, 5 and 7 first. Then after adding them, subtract. Is someone trying to say something? Subtract 1 from it before you now go and start doing this, right? You multiply this one. In fact, after doing that, also go and add 3 to it. It's looking complex now, but what I've done basically is I have made them to execute this way. Here we'll have 5 plus 2 first, and 5 plus 2 is 7. It should now go 7 minus 1, and then it will now go 7 minus 1 is 6. It should now do 6 plus 3, and then 6 plus 3 is 9. It will now do 9 times 2. Let's see what that will give us, and then it will be 18. Bam bam. Should I run the code? So it's correct. Give us 18. Okay, that's that about operator precedence. So now if I want to, let's say I want to be able to add 2 numbers. Let's not go into adding variable numbers now yet. I want to be able to add 2 numbers. So I'm thinking, okay, I didn't want to. How do I save this? How do I leave these codes non-mutated so that when we push them to Git, one can. Okay. Now let's leave it like that. Okay. So if I simply want to add, what are we doing? I'll be commenting the line of code so that I don't lose them. If I want to be able to add 2 numbers, and I say, of course, I'm not ready to use the let keyword again, except you want to give me a reason to use it, or I find any reason to use it. So let's num1.
You mean the var keyword?
Yes. You want to tell me why? Want me to? You want me to use it? Tell me why I should use it.
You say you are not ready to use the let keyword, but you are using let.
Okay, the var keyword. Sorry. Yeah. What is happening to me? And I did not know, even while you're calling my attention to it. Okay, so what we want to add num1 and num2, and so we'll have we have them saved in different variables, and since we have them in variable, I can simply say num1 plus num2, right? So console.log this. So let me run that code. It gives us 22, which is the correct answer. But then I want to be able to add numbers. I mean, any number I want to add without typing this 1, 2, and 3 line of code. That's one thing function helps us do. you call a function, I can put any number I want into that function and then add them together. So how do we declare a function in JavaScript? We did that the last time. You just use the function keyword, then you write the name of the function. Let's say add 2. Okay, add to num. All right, add to number, and then let's say it takes 2 variables, num1, num2, and of course you want to begin the block of code by opening your curly brace there. And what I wanted to do is just to print. In fact, this stuff that I'm using here, rather than use it here now, let's go and move it and put it into this place and say, okay, this is how you work. Do this each time they call you. Add it and print. Just print the value. Print the sum of those numbers. So when I do this now, I don't even need to do this stuff again, right? Except for dynamic reasons. I will explain what that means in a bit. So if I take this off and now call the function. I mean, if our program is okay, but if I call the function, nothing will run. Let's try. Sorry, if I don't call the function, nothing will run. So if I go this way, so our program is working where no errors, but that is coming because we need to call the function first. And so when I call a function, I say add 2 num and give it 2 numbers I want it to print. I say okay, print add, let's say 10 and 3 together for me. All right, so when I now run this code, it tells me that 13, it prints out 13, which is the sum of 10 and 3. This is our function working. Is our function working now? ES6 is I mean, our journey is from JS. I said it's from JS to ES6, EX6 to React, right? You need to understand that ES6 is not when we say EX6, we are emphasizing some standard that brought very significant change in JavaScript programming. So we'll be incorporating those standards as we learn. For example, when we talked about the var keyword and then the let and const, it's just to show that okay, EX6 came on board and brought let and const, such that var, I don't think var is needed again. Yeah, if I thought it's needed anyway, maybe it will be for some peculiar reasons or in certain peculiar cases, but I personally don't think that var is needed anywhere anymore. Okay, so now there's a way we can write this function and call it at once. Let me try. If I put this guy in brackets, put the bracket open at the beginning and the end, let's see whether this will work. Let me clear my output to be sure whether it worked or failed. That's wrong. It failed. What's the reason why it failed? I wasn't expecting it to fail. It's not running. It's not calling itself. It's just here I should put it. Error.
Yeah, actually correct. So, but the reason why you didn't get any output is because this function is expecting 2 arguments before you can proceed or log. Yeah. Let's say, for instance, you're not expecting let's say it's another function that is not taking any arguments. You just consider log probably a text. I think it should work that way. Just try it out.
So this function does not take any argument again. It adds 4 and 2 each time it is called. So let's go. It didn't work.
I think there should be like two parentheses after the. I really forgot how to do that. They call it IME. Immediately invoked something.
Yeah, I immediately invoked.
Okay. Open and close another bracket on line 16.
Like this.
Yeah. I think like this here.
Okay, it works. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So for that case, that I think that case that you have argument, it is inside these parentheses that you pass the argument. I'm not so sure, but you
It
can
looks like
try it out.
it looks like you've read. Sounds like you've read. Let's try. All right. So add for me number 1 and 2. They will say we have to understand these things before we understand React. So everyone pay close attention. Let's learn. Yes. So add for me 13 and 1. Let's go. What's it saying? All right. So it ran. I ran it twice. It worked. Wow. So this is immediately invoked. I something something something. You can find that. Immediately
The way it is
invoked
come out, I
function.
immediately invoke
Function
function.
execution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Execution.
that's
Right.
it.
I. Okay. So what we just did now is called I for immediately. I again for invoked. F for function if and E for execution if we are not mistaken. You'll find out whether is correct. Execution. Okay. Thank you. The learning is in the doing. If you don't do, you won't learn. That's how we learn. That's how we learn. So make sure that after being part of this section or after watching this video, you go and do. Because if you don't do, you will not learn. So when you do, that you learn. So that's it. Now let's make progress. Now this function can as well be anonymous. Yes. It becomes anonymous when we don't want it to have a name. In fact, that will take us to what we call arrow functions, where you have something like this. Am I correct? Something like this. Okay. So how are you going to turn this into arrow functions now? Let's talk. It must not be only Mr. Yodo talking. How are you going to turn it to arrow functions where the function does not have a name, but is doing what it is asked to do? By the way, before we go into that, right, let me just show that it is not easy enough to add two numbers together. It is not very easy. So I can just go add 10 and 20. Then I go again and say add let's say 5 and 2. So this is one of the advantage of function. You can reuse the block of code. You can call it, invoke it to do that thing that you've defined it to do for you. Add 1 and 3. So the first line 16 will give us 14. Line 18 will give us 30. Line 19 will give us 7. Line 20 will give us 4. Let's run this. Okay. What's up? So are you saying that add to num is not defined? Oh, because so this does affect calling the function again. Is that it, Mr. Biodu? I like learning by experience, but not experience that way. Cost me much.
Yes.
So
This one is immediately invoke this one. Function doesn't is not valid on inside the scope anymore.
Okay. So how my function valid? I don't want to use it again. That makes me want to wonder why then is it necessary? I mean, that means I have to do it for a function I want to use only once. You know. So now it's off. So I want this guy to perform this operation on 1, 2, 3 set of numbers for me. So let me run it again and see the outcome. So it tells me line 18 gave us 30, line 19 gave us 7, line 20 gave us 4. Okay, now one reason for variables, like, I mean, you can imagine, like, I could simply, in a real life circumstance, you will hardly have something like this. This is JavaScript, and it is used to make the a web page interactive. Okay, so you can't have these values hard coded. What is hard coding? Hard coding is What is hard coding, please? Why are people in this call? What is hard coding? Hello. I will skip it if you don't answer. I guess it's not important. All right, so that's about functions, right? So we can do several things with functions. We can let functions perform several operations for us that we want, and it makes things easier for us. Now let's talk about arrays in JavaScript. And but I
Hello,
think I
sir.
should employ. Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, sir. Sir, I want to actually say what hard coding is, according to my own understanding.
Okay,
Okay, I am Carpenter John. Okay,
all right.
hard coding is a way of embedding data directly into a source code of a program, something like that.
Something like that. Okay, so looking at this program now, we are designing embed data. Yeah, there's no big grammar like that.
Okay, you
Break break your
according to
grammar
what
down.
I'm saying,
Yes.
okay, according to what I'm saying, you embedded the data in that function.
Line what?
Line 14 and
Line
15.
14 and 15. Okay. Okay. Thank
So you
you.
cannot
This is the reason why I get concerned when I start hearing big grammars. It's not to impress anybody, just to make sure that we know what you're saying. And then those of us that are here that have not used the word embedded before will not be intimidated. A hand is raised. Dunstan. I can see an income message that says hard coding is putting values inside the code. Okay, Dunstan, go ahead and talk to us.
Hello, Topman.
Yeah, good day. Yeah, good day.
Yeah, I will say hard coding is okay. He has used the right terminology, though they are big. But according to me, on line 9, that's where you had coded.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, the definition of the first person was accurate, but his example, I don't agree with his example. And the definition of the second person in the income message, that's Gordon. I think I agree with that definition, but Gordon, you need to give me some examples. Let me know what you're defining. Give us examples in this code. And then the third person, I think I agree with the definition. In fact, I agree with all of your definitions. Your example now, I think your example is limiting the meaning of the term hard coding, right? I think your example is not commensurate with your definition. So go on. If you want to give us some example on what line did I hard code that? Did I hard code? He says it's on line 9, and that I take that to mean that he's saying that I only hard coded on line 9. Okay, Gordon does not be active. I don't know what I see in the call. But see, if we all agree that is worth some data. I mean, is this not some data? Is this not embedded in the program? Are these not data? You know. So the difference between hard coding and what's the other one called? If you know it, please teach us to. Your hand is raised. Don't worry, calm down. So hard coding now is that you have put the values inside. Except if I'm wrong, please correct me. You may raise your hand if I'm wrong. So once you're the one, once the program has any data, you know, I think it's hard coding. I believe it's hard coding, and otherwise the data should come from the user. Should come from the user. So when all the values is here, I mean, JavaScript is not that kind of programming language. I believe so. Except you, I mean, there might be circumstances where you will code and put incomplete data for the user to supply the rest. You know, that's it. That's what I believe. So yeah, we now let's talk about. I was trying to talk about. Yeah, I was trying to employ the use of some control structure. Let's say we want to print from. Let's add the function that print. I think I would rather comment this off. I will comment this off so I don't delete it. Just so the file is useful. Okay, so someone says, okay, well done, I see your message. Thank you. So I was about to, let's say we want to print odd numbers, all the odd numbers from let's say 1 to 20, right? I wanted to use some control structures. Now, print I call this one task 1. Print all odd numbers from 1 to 20. Now, odd numbers are numbers that cannot be divided by 2 without remainder. Any number that cannot be divided by 2 without remainder is an odd number. If it can be divided by 2 and there's no remainder, it's an even number. Even number. So now, what will be your algorithm? What will be algorithm? I mean, the step-by-step approach you're going to take. It doesn't matter now whether you know the syntax correctly, but let's just reason. What are we going to use? How do we do? I mean, knowing at least one programming language. How are we going to go about getting this done? So anyone can raise his hand and help us, please. Quickly, please. Time is fast spent already.
Let me try something. Can I?
Okay.
Okay, you're going to write bold this will say if number
Okay. Let me use the whiteboard.
okay, can you hear me?
Okay. So you say, go ahead.
If number percentage 2, if number percentage 2 equals to, like if number percentage 2 equals to 0, don't print.
Don't print. Okay.
Yeah, don't print.
Okay.
Then if number percentage 2, if number percentage 2
Okay.
equals to remainder, like equals to 1, or like I'm trying to say, if a number divides 2 and
Then
remains a number,
then I think S would do, right? We don't need to state the condition again, since
okay.
the only condition where you want to skip is this. If it's not this, then you should print, right? So S print
Print
number. Okay. Okay, so but this now implies that you, in your mind, you've already declared a variable num that is equal to what will be inside num. How do we know? I mean, can num be having 1 and 20? How do we know what is inside num? You understand? I don't know. Somebody can help. It didn't miss much. We are trying to print. We're trying to print from 1, all numbers from 1 to 20. So we're looking at some step-by-step approach to getting the problem solved, achieving it. Welcome back. So somebody should help us now. What are we going to put inside num that will now? How are you going to save the number 1 to 20 inside num? Do I need to declare an array and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20? Okay, so let's go to our program. Thank you. That's done. Okay. That's done. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can use a loop.
A loop. Okay.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Okay. After defining a function, since we are using JavaScript, so after defining a function, we can do a for loop. So we can do a for I is equals to 0, I less than. If our function parameter will be number, we can do if I is equals to 0, I less than or equals to number, and then we increment the loop, and then after that we can do the operation that he gave us, the if num lambda 2 is equals to 0. Okay. But for me, I could do if num lambda 2 is not equal to 0, we print that one, and then after that we can like console log.
Great, thank you. Now, someone can solve this problem with a code that is less efficient. Maybe to mic, please. I'm getting some echo. Thank you. Someone could solve a problem with 10 lines of code that another person will solve with 3 lines of code. From what he did now, he said we should use the function. So I'm going with the function, and I'll call this function print odd. Let's do this way, print odd number. I'm not sure I'm following convention now. I'm doing this variable. You want to inform me on the right way to do that. Print odd number. Okay, so it takes let's say the maximum as argument for what you just said now. I mean, the solution in my mind was different from what you just said. Slightly different. Okay, what she said before too. Let me combine both of their work, right? The difference between what she said and what he said is that I need to be stating else. So I'll have at least 1 or 2 more line of code. I think they're basically the same in a way. I was wondering whether you want to, you could have. All right, let's go ahead and implement this. So if I say for let I, according to him, why are we always using I? It could be something else. Let you equals he says 0, but I like to use 1. Okay, let's go ahead. 0 is not bad. 0 and semicolon. This is the syntax of a for loop, right? You write you initialize the variable in the left side, and you put some condition in the middle, all with semicolon, and then you put some instruction in the right side. So the condition is as long as u is lesser or equal to whatever is given to this function as an argument. What you should do is make sure that this guy is incremented, and as you increment it, okay, this is a for loop, so I need to have a block of code here, brace. Subcurly basis. Yeah. So what you do is console.log n. Okay. This is I'm trying to imagine the time complexity. It looks like okay, it's not a nested it's a nested if loop, right? Um if you modulo 2 is not equal to 0. Should I use 2 or 1 now? Strict equality. 0. Okay. We should then console.log. I don't know what I'm doing, what you said now. I don't know what I'm doing what you said. Is this what you said? I need the confirmation. Is this what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So let's try. I use our function now. Of course, our function is not being called yet. So if I call the function and say print odd num, I say now print all odd numbers from, of course, to go from 0 to 20. Okay, here we go. I'm running it. So it prints 1, 3, 5, and it worked just fine. 20 is not an odd number, so 20 was not printed. I mean, if we had said 21, because 21 is an odd number, I expect it to be printed as well. So let's check. 21 was printed this time. So it's working, right? It's working. React developers in 2 months. It's working. Now let's talk about arrays. Now I just use, like I said, there are other control structure. This is a control structure in JavaScript, the for loop. This is a control structure as well, right? Okay, let's do this. If let's do this. I want to add another control structure. So let's do this. Let me move this down to this place and say if this is equal to 0, and then continue. Let's see whether we're going to achieve the same thing. Continue. Then do this for us. Let's see if this works. Then I'll go ahead and explain what I had in mind. What I have in mind. So it worked. It worked. That's why they tell you that no two programmers think exactly the same way. In fact, from the beginning, the way I wanted to use to solve this problem. Sorry. That's not easy as to leave. Thank you for joining. All right. Okay, so that's it. This is another way. I mean, I've used another. If I leave, like what Blessing was trying to do was to say, if it's this, don't print. Then if it is, print. So I think it's something like this. Yeah, something like this that she said. But her own has an else block that it says else, and then there's something like this, and then I will have this one close here. This is her own, right? And this guy should be indented. This is what she did. Let's see whether it will work. So let me give this now from 1 to 5. Print all odd numbers from 1 to 5. On. So you see it worked as well. But you want to do something that will make you more efficient, that will make you faster, that will make you save time, that will make you save space, have shorter lines of codes. Okay, that's all about that. Let's talk about array. So I want to move with speed now. Arrays, we'll talk about arrays. We're talking about group data, bring groups together, saved inside one variable. So it's like one variable having several partitions, okay, where different data can be saved. I think I should use another page and do this. Okay. No, I don't think this is the what I need. Let me do this way. I want to do a kind of representation of memory of an array. Okay, so we have partitions like this, but it is the same data. It's the same data. Sorry, the same variable rather. Same variable. Now in JavaScript, an array can have different data types. It can house different data types. As in one variable, we now have different partitions that has different data types at different at each of those spaces, and it's fine. And the funny thing about JavaScript, we'll find that practically. I mean, if I have a list, this is like a list in Python. If I have a list, of course, it has the same characteristics of taking different values, but you discover that there are things you just there are different approaches to having certain things done. For example, if you want to append the list in Python, it's different. You must use the append method. And what I mean is this: if you declare a list in Python, let me use the terminal. Sorry, before I go to Python, let's finish here. So I don't. So basically, to declare a list in JavaScript, all you need to do is just call the name of the declare the variable that hold the list. So let's call this on. Let me call this on my list. My list, and then put a square bracket. Oh, opening and closing square brackets. So they have to be enclosed in square brackets, okay? And then you now put the value of the contents inside each space. So if I say in space 1, I want to have my name there. That's cool. In the other second space, I want to have number 23. In the third space, I want to have 12.0. In the other space, I want to have just one character here. Do you think this explanation is necessary now? Explaining array, indexing. Raise your hand if you don't think it's necessary. Okay, raise your hand if you think it's necessary. Okay, someone's hand is up. Only one hand. Just a few. You're not sure what you want, or you're not close to your. All right. So for indexing, we just start. It's just about numbering each of those spaces, numbering them beginning from 0. That's what indexing is about, right? So on that array that I have declared there, my list, I have index 0. I have Topman at index 0. I have 23 at index 1. I have 12.0 at index 2, and I have A at index 3. Okay, so if I decide to print, let's say console.log my list, let's go there. So it prints the list, content of the list. If I want to access only one, I go console.log. I go for that particular one. I write the index of that particular one, the index position of that particular one. So if I do 0, it should give me Topman. Let's find out. Hey, let's do something else. I don't need you. Sorry. Okay, so rather than doing Control Alt N, I went and did Control Shift N. Okay, so it's giving me Topman now, which is the element at index 0. So let's try whether this one is really at index 3. So try what is at index 3. Run this. It's giving me A as the content, the value at index 3. So let's try accessing an index that does not exist. And Let's go. So it's saying undefined. That's the funny thing about this array. It's saying undefined as though the index exists but does not have a value. Now I can go and show you a Python array. If I declare the same thing here, as that guy, my list. Of course, I don't need the let keyword. I don't need any keyword to declare an array in Python. Neither do I need that semicolon. So I'll invoke the Python console and paste this here. So I now have an array called my list. My list. What is happening to you now? Okay, so this is my list. So if I go my lists, let's start from accessing the third member. Not the fourth member, actually. The fourth member is at index 3, right? So it tells us it's A. If I go and try to access this one, see what happens. Choose up an error. If I want to make the list longer, I say, okay, I want to add something there now. And I go, okay, I say, this guy is not equal to, let's say, blessing. It will not work. I have to use a method called append. I'll go and say, my list dot append. Please don't, I'm not trying to scatter your brain with programming languages. Please, if Python is not your thing, don't worry. All right, so append and I put blessing. So when I do this now and I check the content of my list again, we now have blessing there. That means if I do my list index 4, it's blessing. But in this other guy, in this other word, you can see that it's as though the list is already, it's already, the limit is not defined. Let me check what is that list 20. Index 20, let's see what happens. So come on, I've done that mistake again. Okay, so it's still showing us this undefined. Let me clear my output just to show you how. Clear my output and run it again. It says undefined. It means I can add something at index 20. That means I can come here and say, okay, in this list now, go to index 20 of my list. And add, let's say, blessing. All right. After doing that, let's run it again. So it tells us that you can see that a list that just has only 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. I was able to add the 5th element at index 20. Nothing at index 5. Nothing at index 6. Nothing at from index 5 to 19 does not have anything. That's one. I think it's worthy of note. Okay. Now, since that you can contain any kind of values, of course, these are only 2 kind of values yet. 2 data types, because I said we have I told you we have what's about objects, boolean, strings, number, object array, boolean, string, number. That means this guy can contain itself, the data type of is like it can contain another list inside. Let's say I have a list here. Let me have another list now. Let's sublist equal what will I put here? Let's say 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is a sublist, right? And let's do some console.log here. I'm gonna comment this line off. And okay, I'll just copy this one, paste it here, and change this to sublist. So the last member of sublists, let's try this, -1. Okay, I've not tried this before, it did not work. Okay, in Python you can use -1 to get the last member. Like if I do my list and put it brackets -1. I hope this is I'm doing calling Python here. I'm not causing any problem. an element of access expression, take argument, what. I don't know what you're talking about. Come back. Don't debug for me. So this is the sublist, right? 1, 2, 3. It has 3 members, and that means the last one is at index 2, which is number 3. Let's run the program. So it prints 3. All right. Now, if I now say, let me comment this off, that this my list. Let's do some things here. My list, let's say my list 5 is equal to this list, sublist. See what happens. I think this line should be changed now. I want to print my list after doing that. I want to see my list. So by saying this, I'm saying that this is 0, 1, 2, 3. At the fourth, I want it at the fourth position actually. Fourth. At the fourth position, okay, let me put it at the third position and see what will happen. Watch the start position it should take. Now, my list 3 is equal to sublist. It will now go and replace what is at index 3. 0, 1, 2, 3 with this list. Let's confirm. So go. You can see A is no more there. So there's a list inside a list. And there can be a list that is inside the list that is inside the list. So this array itself is a data structure on its own. Right? You should know that. Now, how do I now access this guy? Let's do what do you call it now? Let me access a sublist, right? So I'll go here and say console.log. I want to access, somebody should help me. How do I access 2? I want to print 2 now, but I don't want this sublist again. I don't want to print it from here. I want to print it from this particular place. How do I print it? In this array.
Mr. Topman, please come again with the question. I didn't really get it.
Inside this array now, I want to print number 3. How do I print it? I want to console.log 3. I have 3 printed. How do I print it?
My list array 5.
Array 5. Okay. So this is what you said. I mean, this is strange. There's no index 5 in this list now. You have 0, 1, 2, 3. Because Topman is at index 0, 23 is at index 1, and then 2, 3. This sublist is at index. Okay. So what did you mean to say?
It should be 3.
3. Okay. I don't want to print the entire list. I want to print only the number 3. All this technicality, all these little minor operations or operations that becomes complex in a way. I think we should be used to and ready to handle.
Or something.
What?
3 column 2. I don't know how to put it.
Semicolon 2. Semicolon 2. Okay, so this is what you do, right? Just put, I don't know what expected to mention 2, but 3 is actually at index 2 in the sublist. So if we do this, I expect you to give me that number 3. Let's run it and see. Why am I doing Control Shift N? Why? All right, so it worked. It's giving us 3. Line 42 printed this. Line 43 printed 3. That's that about array. So array has methods as well.
What's the correct terminology to use?
What's the correct terminology to use? Who wants to help me? What's the correct terminology to use?
Array inside array.
This one is like a multi. What's it called again?
Multi-dimensional.
Yeah, multi-dimensional arrays. We are trying to access an array inside an array. So you use this if they are then it's just like multi-dimensional array. Yeah, like just I don't really remember the terminology used for it.
All right, thank you. Now, if you want to practice, get your hands on methods that are associated with arrays. I think this section, I need to hurry. I thought I would be able to do all of this in 1 hour. Okay, let's just to make sure we touch everything. Okay, remaining object, right? So let's touch object a bit. So you got to learn methods that are associated with arrays, methods that you can use in arrays. Okay, and if I want to delete, for example, if I want to delete the last member, I think the top works here, right? Let's do, let me comment this off. Comment this off and do, okay, I'll do it this way. So my lists, dot pop. All right, so when this happens, what will happen? I am expecting this. At this point, what do we have? Okay, I think I should leave this line. This line was the line that added the array into this array, right? And then this line, I'm expecting this line to remove the last member, remove the last element. Okay, and so if it work, we should not see this guy printed again. We should only see Topman, this and this. All right, let's try and see. Okay, something is wrong here. Somebody talk to me. What is wrong? Is my syntax wrong? Does it refuse to run? Code language not supported or defined. Something is wrong.
We comment that line 42 back and try to run it again. Let's see whether it's coming from the line 42. Okay. I just want to see. Just place your cursor there and then comment it.
Okay, so it's actually coming from that line.
Line 42.
Look at it run.
Place your cursor on pop.
Removes the last element from an array and returns it. If the array is empty, undefined, it's returned. And the array is
it's supposed to return this my list.pop. It removes the element and returns another array. So you are supposed to save this inside a variable. And then call that and then probably consider log that variable.
Are you sure that if I call this in on the terminal, it's not run?
I don't think so. I'm not sure, but try it.
So run for me function.js. So it worked. This guy is stubborn. The output of the man is stubborn.
Is that node something? That one is. It's better you be using this. Just run it with the node. That's what happened yesterday too. If you don't call a function, that it will not.
This will remind me of the command line. I like using the command line. Once I start doing this thing, I will start seeing. I'll be tempted to see no need for VS Code again.
Even this way, you can't be using that run. It's like a debug settings. It has a debug settings on VS Code. It will kind of debug your code and see what is wrong with it before it actually run it. Something like that. I've really forgotten why it works that way.
It's okay. We'll not be disturbing it again. We'll start writing the programs. We'll start designing web pages. I don't think we have a problem with it. Maybe we'll conference like Betty and Pycode style and semi-standard. Okay.
That's the major one.
Okay, so this is running here, but let me see. Okay, for time's sake, you want to try it. You might want to try it on your own and see. Okay, let me just do it. Let's save this. inside here. I call it let new list. I don't mean for calling it list, or it's Python that is making me call it list. So now I want to console.log new list. Let's see whether this guy will be friendly with us this time. Oh, exactly. Excuse me. Oh, this guy went on.
It returns the what the removed. That's the exactly. This is what it's supposed to, because that pop, it removes something from an array and returns what it removed.
So if I said
Exactly.
it did not run,
That was what I was trying to explain.
Thank you very much. I learned it. So is that E6? Is that ES6 standard or something? Or is it VS Code standard?
Is VS Code, is that the run is a VS Code feature? Is VS Code something, Jerry?
Great. Thank you. So that's that for arrays. So what about objects? Objects are objects as in objects. When we say object, we mean objects. We're talking about things, living things, non-living things. Those things have certain characteristics that we may refer to as attributes. You know, so for example, can someone give me an object at random? Someone give me an object at random. I think I should be commenting only the console log. Only the console.log and leaving other parts working. Yeah, so someone give me an object now, you know. Is somebody giving me an object?
Book, pencil.
Book, pencil. Okay, book is a pencil. Book is an object, pencil. But you give me two. Okay, let's look at book anyway. Let's look at book. Book is an object. I think I want to create another file. So let me leave this to be the way they are. I'm not sure what this was doing. So I'll create another file. Object.js. Okay. So she said book. So let's work with book, right? So I want to create an object book. So remember this time I want should I use const or let? Who knows? Who has the reason why I should use const or why I should use let? Object is good. Now, object is basically a thing that has things inside it, and those things inside it are in form of key value pair. I think that's the best thing I can call it. I don't know whether it's so called in JS. I know that's how we refer to it in Python. So key value pairs. Key value pairs. So when you declare an object, I believe you should have this, something like this, where comment respect yourself. So where everything will not be inside here. So the keys must be string. The keys must be strings, as far as I know. Keys must be string. Maybe we'll play a bit and see what will happen if we don't make a string. Keys must be strings. And values could be or can be, could be anything. All right. So a book, a book is an object. Let me assume that Blessing is talking about a particular book. That book has, let's say the book cover has some color. Let's say, does it have book cover or not? So let's say book jacket, or let's say cover, book cover, and I think it's column. Yeah, it's column. Book cover, we say true. This is a boolean. We've put in this data now is boolean, right? You put comma down. This book has some pages. So let's say we want to take number of pages. So pages. Let's say the book has 204 pages. Comma. You enter. I'm just intentionally using different data types. And this book has a title, right? So let's say title as well. Title. So when we say object, we really mean object. So you're putting in soft copy. You're modeling something that really exists with codes. So that book, of course, title has to be a string. So let's give me the title of the book.
Things fall apart.
Things fall apart. Hey, content should fall apart here. I don't know why that book entered your head. Things fall apart. Comma, because I want to add something more. That book has an author, right? Who wants to give me an author? The author is Abiodo. Yeah, wow. Don't worry, I know the author already. The author is still a string. Abiodo Israel. No. Abiodo.
Abiodun Lawal.
Apan. Okay. So,
That combination was strong.
so now, just like the array we saw earlier, I heard that array can have an array. I mean, you can play with your sandbox, play with your yeah. This is the point where you need to be careful. You can have a virtual machine that you want to play with. Let me just say play with your system now. You can play fine play and then not play rough play. But basically, I think it's safe. I mean, you want to play safe, create a repository, open the code space, and be playing there. I don't know whether anything could ever go wrong. I think the worst that could happen is you getting some bugs. I don't know. I think the dangerous thing happens when you're a command line programmer. You use the command line interface. You're a DevOps or doing the stuff. I don't know. I'm not aware whether you can program and do the one that will crash your system in front end development. I'm not sure. But
No, actually,
okay.
no. It
Okay,
will
no.
just
So
encounter a bug and it will never run.
all right.
Yeah.
So I am not both to tell you all play with your system, play like try that array we use initially. Try to go and create your own and create an array inside an array that is inside an array that is inside an array. Do anything that comes to your mind. Just do with JavaScript. Forget about HTML for now, except you expect to do so. Or if this is not your first time of working with JavaScript, then you might want to remind yourself of certain things you know already. I like probably in our next section we'll start seeing what we can do with JavaScript on HTML documents. How we incorporate the things that we've learned. So what data type is not here now? Let's include lists. Let's include lists. Bios of author, right? Bios of author. It has to be a list because can a list have a key value pair? Can a list have a key value pair? What do you think? Should we try it? Because I want to have. Yes. Let's try it.
Okay, we can. I don't think so, but we can try it.
Let's try it. Equals name. Topman. Okay, let's see F name. Then comma.
There's no need to go further. There's already an underlined something there.
Okay, that means it's not possible. All right.
You can just place your cursor on it to see what exactly is wrong.
Special comma.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that. So it's not possible. All right. Okay, so since that's not obtainable here, I'll just say editions because I want to incorporate lists here. So I'll just say editions. So let's say it's why is it on the lemma? What is the problem? Why is it on this? Let's say what first published.
We are missing a comma in line 5.
Oh, thank you. Let's say let's say review. The book was reviewed first in 2012 and then was reviewed again in 2013. And then it was reviewed again in 2020. So I have a list now just to show that the object is getting complex, more complex. Inside the object is a list now. Okay. I want to have an object inside this object as well. So I will go and say, I think bios will work. Yes. Autobiography. Let me say chapter. Who wants to give an idea? What?
Is there not supposed to be a comma in line 6?
There's supposed to be a comma, yeah. Please help me. I want an attribute I want an object inside this object. I want an object inside this object. Let me connect my system to power supply before the power source before it will. Let me really. What object can be inside this object? Just now that I want to connect your warning. All right. Great. Nobody's talking. I hope I'm not going to. It's as though I should have stopped in the first step and do something before going further. But I did something with array now, so it's basically the same thing. But this time we are going to be. It's just that we're not going to be doing a square bracket again. We are going to be calling the key, and the value will come out. Okay, so I think I should stop here first. Yes, go ahead. Okay. Maybe talk to me.
Okay, I'm thinking that you're asking of an object that can be inside the object. So I was thinking
Yes.
that author can also be an object where you have.
Come again, please.
So,
okay, author can be an object.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Age.
Thank you. So inside here we have author as an object. Now, how is that done? Am I supposed to use assignment operator or the same guy? How is that done? You want to talk to me? You're welcome. Do you think what I'm doing now is correct? If no, talk to me.
I've forgotten the syntax, but I know that process.
Okay.
The name value should be string as well.
This guy is staying in the wrong place. Come on. Should be here. All right. So I mean, this is an object. Why is it not indenting properly? Why I was supposed to be indenting this place? Why is it not indenting? Okay, let's try whether this is working. Let's just trust that it's working. So this guy has a wife, and the wife is no, that's the wife's age. Because we are playing with data, right? We want to have different data here. So wife's age. I guess I need to use double quote this time because there is a single quote in the middle. Wife's age. What am I even doing? Who gives this kind of space in programming? Okay, the guy has an age. He has an age, so he's I bet he's 93. Let me just be sure that we don't have any bug yet in this program. I think I should stop here. So I'll take this last comma off. and also take this last comma here. Oh, here's my cursor. Come on, repeat yourself. This one here, because this is the last thing, right? And then I want to add a semicolon at the end of this. Okay. Without which I guess it may still work. Let's see whether our object is working well. Let's start with some.
There's an extension in VS Code that can help you format your code.
VS Code
Instead of
users.
manually adding the semicolon at the back and stuff like that. Yeah. And it will
Talk
help you
to
to
me.
arrange it properly. I think
Talk to me.
it's PTR.
PTR.
No, PTR.
Oh,
Like
prettier. Power extension.
Yeah.
It's here now. Why is it not working? Let me activate it.
It doesn't show that it's there. It's supposed to show at the bottom.
So that guy was sorry. Okay, I think it's my learning system. So which one is the best? I'm simply the one from Banners, the one from
You can see the download this thing. This one has like 2 million downloads.
so we should cause that naked for the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I just added prettier to my life. Can't make certain things easy. But why it's still downloading? I guess it will activate automatically. Okay.
It has downloaded.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll go back to the file.
The file itself.
The object file.
Okay.
I don't know. The shortcut on Linux is different from Windows. Right click inside this place. Just
inside
right
this space.
Yeah. Anyway. Just right click anywhere. Then format document. Okay, to Control Alt F. On this
Control Alt F. This guy.
Yeah, format document. It will bring out what you want to. Yeah, you can then configure it.
I should start configuring this. No.
No, it will just actually use PTR. Like you want to use PTR to configure to be your code formatter.
Okay, that's the only thing here now.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
It's not one here now.
You can use it and it comes with this. Anyone is okay. But PTR is even close to.
All right. So what next now? I'm just saying it. What next?
Already formatted it for you. You can see it's different now.
What is different? Just the color.
No, not the color. Actually, I wanted to say something. If you are writing key value pair, you don't need to wrap them in string. Like the key should not be like in quotes.
Oh, so this is wrong.
Yeah. Do Control Z. The key more just a key. It's just
okay.
It's a key. That one is just like how do
is it like some changes in JS? Because where did I see that it must be key?
It must be
is this
string.
life?
No, it will actually work that way. No, do Control Z. It will still work the same way you put it. But
so is this ES6 format or something? Who changed it?
I really
From what I know, it's not compulsory that it has to be in quotes, but it's like a personal preference. It will work either way.
Okay.
It's not like this one is wrong and the other one is right. It's just your preference.
Thank you.
Yeah, place your mouse on one of the key.
One of the key?
Your cursor on one of the key. Anyone.